the man behind the famous Sideburns, but his real legacy, a Civil War general who faced disaster and redemption. You know his name from Sideburns, but his military career was anything but stylish. From facial hair fame to battlefield blunders, the shocking story of Ambrose Burnside. Ambrose Everett Burnside, May 23, 1824. September 13, 1881, was an American general and politician who served primarily during the U.S. Civil War, 1861 to 1865. His military career, marked by both successes and significant failures, was shaped by his leadership in key campaigns, notably the Battle of Fredericksburg and operations in North Carolina and East Tennessee. Civil War service: Burnside commanded a brigade in Colonel David Hunter's division under General Irvin McDowell. His brigade, consisting of the 2nd New Hampshire, 1st and 2nd Rhode Island, and 71st New York regiments, along with the 2nd Rhode Island Battery, was involved in the early stages of the battle in late 1861. Burnside was tasked with organizing a division of New England regiments to conduct amphibious operations along the Atlantic coast, specifically targeting North Carolina's Outer Banks. Appointed Brigadier General of Volunteers August 6, 1861, he raised and trained approximately 12,000 to 15,000 men, forming the Coast Division, which was transported by a fleet of over 80 vessels. Battle of Roanoke Island, February 7 to 8, 1862. Burnside's forces, supported by naval gunboats under Flag Officer Louis M. Goldsborough, attacked Confederate defenses on Roanoke Island. Facing approximately 3,000 Confederates under Colonel Henry M. Shaw, Burnside landed 7,500 troops, outmaneuvering the defenders. After a brief but intense fight, Union forces captured the island, securing Forts Huger Blanchard and Bartow, along with 2,500 prisoners and 32 guns. Decisive Union victory, establishing a foothold in North Carolina and boosting Burnside's reputation. Battle of New Bern, March 14, 1862. Burnside advanced on New Bern, a key port city, with 3 brigades under Generals John G. Foster, Jesse L. Reno, and John G. Parke. Facing 4,000 Confederates under General Lawrence O'Brien Branch, Burnside's 11,000 troops executed a coordinated assault supported by naval artillery. After heavy fighting along the Trent River, Union forces breached Confederate lines, capturing the city and significant supplies. Union victory further solidifying control over coastal North Carolina. Battle of Fort Macon, April 25, 1862. Forces besieged Fort Macon, a Confederate stronghold guarding Beaufort Harbor. General Parke's brigade, supported by artillery and naval bombardment, forced the surrender of the 400-man garrison under Colonel Moses J. White. Union capture of the fort, completing Burnside's control of key coastal defenses. Burnside's North Carolina campaign was highly successful, capturing over 200 miles of coastline, securing Union naval bases, and disrupting Confederate trade. His success earned him promotion to Major General of Volunteers, March 18, 1862, and national recognition, including thanks from Congress, Antietam Campaign, and the 9th Corps Command, 1862, transfer to the Army of the Potomac. In July 1862, Burnside's Coast Division was redesignated as the 9th Corps and attached to General George B. McClellan's Army of the Potomac. Burnside commanded both the 9th Corps and the 1st Corps during the Maryland Campaign, though he delegated direct corps command to General Jesse L. Reno until Reno's death at South Mountain, Battle of South Mountain, September 14, 1862. Burnside's the 9th Corps, alongside General Joseph Hooker's, the 1st Corps, attacked Confederate positions at Fox's and Turner's Gaps to relieve pressure on Harper's Ferry. Facing General D.H. Hill's division, Burnside's troops struggled with rugged terrain and Confederate resistance, but eventually secured the gaps after heavy fighting. Outcome: Union tactical victory, forcing General Robert E. Lee to consolidate his army at Shorebird. Antietam, September 17, 1862. Burnside commanded the 9th Corps on the Union left. Tasked with crossing Antietam Creek at what became known as Burnside's Bridge, Rohrbach's Bridge, facing a smaller Confederate force under General Robert Toombs, approximately 500 Georgians, Burnside's 12,000-man corps delayed for hours due to poor reconnaissance, ineffective artillery support, and strong Confederate resistance. After multiple failed assaults, the Ninth Corps finally crossed the bridge around 1 p.m., supported by General Isaac P. Rodman's division crossing at a nearby ford. Burnside's advance toward Sharpsburg was halted by the arrival of General A.P. Hill's division from Harper's Ferry, which counterattacked and drove the Ninth Corps back to the creek. Outcome: Burnside's delay and failure to exploit his numerical advantage were heavily criticized, contributing to the battle's stalemate despite Union numerical superiority. Casualties: the Ninth Corps suffered approximately 2,300 casualties killed. Wounded: missing command of the Army of the Potomac, November 1862, January 1863. Appointment: following McClellan's removal for inaction, President Abraham Lincoln appointed Burnside commander of the Army of the Potomac on November 7, 1862. Burnside was reluctant, believing himself unfit for Army-level command, but accepted under pressure. Battle of Fredericksburg, December 11th to 15th, 1862. Plan: Burnside aimed to cross the Rappahannock River at Fredericksburg, Virginia, to seize the city and advance on Richmond before Lee's Army of Northern Virginia could consolidate. Delays in receiving pontoon bridges slowed the Union crossing, allowing Lee to entrench on Marye's Heights. And along the sunken road, Burnside's army, approximately 120,000 men, faced Lee's 78,000 entrenched Confederates. On December 13th, Burnside ordered frontal assaults on Marye's Heights by General Edwin V. Sumner's Right Grand Division and Prospect Hill. By General William B. Franklin's Left Grand Division, the assaults on Marye's Heights, led by multiple corps, were repulsed with heavy losses due to Confederate artillery and rifle fire from fortified positions. General George G. Meade's division briefly broke through at Prospect Hill. Disastrous Union defeat, with 12,653 Union casualties, 1,284 killed, 9,600 wounded, 1,769 missing compared to 5,377 Confederate casualties. Burnside's plan was criticized for poor coordination, failure to exploit early successes, and insistence on frontal assaults against fortified positions. Burnside accepted full responsibility and offered to resign, but Lincoln initially retained him. Mud March, January 20th to 24th, 1863. Attempting to redeem himself, Burnside planned a winter offensive to outflank Lee by crossing the Rappahannock upstream. Heavy rains turned roads into mud, bogging down artillery and wagons, forcing the army to abandon the campaign. Outcome: the failure further eroded confidence in Burnside's leadership among subordinates and troops. Relief from command on January. Lincoln replaced Burnside with General Joseph Hooker. Due to widespread dissatisfaction and Burnside's own request to be relieved, East Tennessee and later service, 1863 to 1864, Department of the Ohio, March 1863, Burnside was reassigned to command the Department of the Ohio, overseeing operations in Ohio, Kentucky, and East Tennessee. Tasked with liberating Unionist East Tennessee and supporting General William S. Rosecrans' Army of the Cumberland, Knoxville Campaign, September-December 1863, Burnside led the 9th Corps and the 23rd Corps, approximately 20,000 men, into East Tennessee, capturing Knoxville on September 2, 1863, without significant resistance. His forces secured key passes in the Cumberland Gap, cutting Confederate supply lines. Siege of Knoxville, November 17, December 4, 1863. Confederate General James Longstreet, detached from General Braxton Bragg's army, besieged Knoxville with 15,000 to 20,000 troops. Burnside's 12,000 defenders fortified the city, holding key positions like Fort Sanders. On November 29th, Longstreet's assault on Fort Sanders was repulsed with heavy Confederate losses, 813 casualties. vs 13 Union due to effective entrenchments and artillery. Union victory. Longstreet withdrew after learning of Bragg's defeat. At Chattanooga, significance: Burnside's defense of Knoxville was a strategic success, securing East Tennessee for the Union and earning praise. Overland Campaign, 1864. Burnside returned to the Army of the Potomac, commanding the 9th Corps under General Ulysses S. Grant. The 9th Corps operated semi-independently due to Burnside's seniority over General George G. Meade. Battle of the Wilderness, May 5th to 7th. 1864, Burnside's corps supported Grant's offensive, but saw limited action, primarily holding the center and guarding supply lines. Inconclusive, with heavy casualties on both sides. Burnside's role was minor. Battle of Spotsylvania Court. House May 8 to 21, 1864, the Ninth Corps participated in assaults on Confederate entrenchments, including the Mule Shoe Salient. Burnside's attacks were poorly coordinated, resulting in heavy losses and limited gains. Tactical stalemate, with Burnside criticized for slow movements. Battle of North Anna May. 23 to 26, 1864, Burnside's corps engaged Lee's forces along the North Anna River, but failed to break through Confederate defenses. Inconclusive, with Burnside's performance again lackluster. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, Navy, and geopolitical updates.